light of the speed of technological development and the digital single market strategy, the European Union has decided to further strengthen and harmonize the rules on privacy in electronic communications. In January 2017, the Commission proposed a Privacy and Electronic Communications Regulation, commonly known as the ePrivacy Regulation, which is meant to replace the existing ePrivacy Directive of 2002 and supplement the GDPR. The ePrivacy Regulation has tried to reach a compromise between privacy and confidentiality on the one hand and rules that could foster innovation on the other hand. In so doing, it has created some debate amongst different stakeholders, which has delayed the adoption of a final text.
The ePrivacy regulation will apply to electronic communications data, namely the content of communications, such as text, photos and documents, and associated metadata, including time, location or recipient data. The new rules will need to be respected not just by traditional telecom and electronic communication providers, but also for so-called over-the-top services, such as Messenger, WhatsApp or even Skype. The ePrivacy regulation will protect both natural and legal persons located in the EU, no matter where their data is processed and even if the service provider is located outside the EU.
The current proposal broadly reinforces the principle of confidentiality of electronic communication that was enshrined in law by the ePrivacy Directive. Any interference with electronic communication data is thus prohibited, except where permitted by the regulation. One exception permitted by the regulation is for electronic communication data to be processed with the user's consent as defined in the GDPR. However, the current proposal tells companies to remind end users of their right to withdraw their consent at periodic intervals of 12 months or less. Apart from consent, the proposal does include other exceptions, such as where processing is needed in order to provide electronic communication services or to ensure or restore their security.
Based on the new rules, cookie walls should not be allowed. Indeed, end users are supposed to have a genuine choice about whether or not to accept cookies. Regarding the rules on direct marketing, the principle stays the same. Unsolicited direct marketing requires the end user's consent in advance. The exemption allowing end users' contact details to be used in marketing similar products and services also remains in place. The ePrivacy regulation is expected to implement a penalty regime identical to the one in the GDPR, with maximum fines of 20 million euros or 4% of total worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher.
The ePrivacy regulation proposal was supposed to take effect alongside the GDPR on 25 May 2018. However, negotiations on the ePrivacy regulation are still ongoing and a final version has not been reached yet. Once adopted, the ePrivacy regulation will be directly applicable in all EU member states 24 months after it comes into force.